I can't hear you.
Okay.
All right. Oh, Jay want me to face straight. Y'all liking the rain? Yeah. Maybe the fires will go out now. So no boyfriend at 15 or 16, all right? What'd you say?
She said, my turn to talk.
Oh,
He's asking you. He's telling you.
I'm gonna rely on you. All right. Whatever. Good morning. Welcome to Fellowship. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you all so much for being with me. You can get involved by going to our YouTube chat line, and Hake will pass on questions or comments on to me, and I can respond accordingly. All right. It's raining in LA, and it's like 450,000 house shorts and $3 billion late. Right? We needed the rain before the fire burned out everything. I wonder what was God thinking. But I'm glad it's raining. Are there still fires? Oh, welcome everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Are there still fires happening? Nobody knows? They're still burning? Wow. That's a long time to be burning, huh? Someone know? A new one, huh? Wow. I wonder if someone is setting these fires and they're not telling us. Amazing. Any questions? No question? So we might as well pass the donation plate and go home. Because you guys just waited to be taught. You never bring anything. Isn't that amazing? Yes, sir.
I got a question about judging.
Yes.
So, when I was driving over here, I was having a tough time with judgment, just based off the way people drive when it rains here.
All right.
But then I was thinking, like, is this judgment or is it practical? Because when I see somebody with bald tires swerving and looking at their phone, I'm making the judgment to get in 3 other lanes away from them. So is that practical judgment?
Yeah, I mean, you should get it over. That's practical. It's like when you're walking across the road, you're gonna look both ways, right?
Right.
That's practical. You're not living by that. Once you cross the road, you're done with thinking about crossing the road. Once you see somebody on their phone like that and you think it's a harm to you,
Yeah.
you get over. You don't have to curse them out or yell at them or think
Yeah.
bad about them.
Yeah.
You just get over. That's practical.
Or if you
God gave you that to think with.
So it's just letting it go and not overthinking that.
Right,
person.
don't get into your head, oh, this illegal, curse word, illegal.
Right.
I bet they don't have car insurance. Blah, blah, blah. And then you start really mad at them, and you
Right.
start, when you drive by, you roll your eyes, or you look around at them, you slow your car down, look over at them, make sure they see you,
Right.
and all that kind. That's judgment. You could go past them and think none of those things at all.
You would think.
What?
I mean, sometimes that part's difficult too.
Only because you're judgmental.
Right.
If
Definitely.
you were not judgmental, it wouldn't be difficult at all.
I'd say that like I was on a 60 percentile from there to here. I was able to catch myself some of the times.
Good. Well, keep doing that.
Yeah.
Eventually, it'll be gone. There will be no thoughts to catch.
Right.
Can you imagine that?
You know, I couldn't 5 years ago, but now I can.
Right. And then you stay with it, you keep catching it. And eventually you're destroying them. And eventually they'll go away to come back no more. And then the worst thing can happen out there, you would not be moved by it.
So that's a little simpler.
Somebody can come and steal your wife right out front of you at the club. And you've been with her for 90 years. And she'll say, oh, I'm going home with this man.
Right.
And you'll be like, oh, okay. Bye.
Well, it could be that I take my wife everywhere, but she finds her way home.
What?
Maybe I brought her there on purpose.
No, I'm saying if another man took her
Yeah.
and she moved away with him after 30, 40 years of marriage,
Send him a wedding gift.
she'll just walk away. If she met someone else that night at the bar, and she decide, I'm going home with this man, I'm not coming back to you. And you'll be like, oh, okay, bye.
Yeah.
It's been fun. And you won't feel a thing about it.
I see what you're saying. But let's
You won't
talk.
get mad at her. You won't get mad at the guy. There will be no thinking about it at all. You wouldn't get lonely. You wouldn't miss her.
What if I was actually happy about it?
If you were happy that she was gone,
Somebody else's problem now.
it helps.
Right.
Amazing.
No, but okay. So what about? There's other levels of judgment. Like, say you have children, and they're making friends, and I'm noticing that now as my kids get older.
Right.
There's some of the friends I'll notice certain things about them that makes me think like maybe this isn't the best choice in friendship for my
Right.
children. And I did feel a little bad about it because a couple of the things that I thought, I didn't like the way they were behaving. And I thought, okay, there's definitely something going on. I got into details about this person that was a potential friend to my daughter. But it was not to, it was more just a protection of my daughter. Like, I understand that at that age, people are going to make lots of friends.
Right.
But the instinct to try to spare them, because you can see that coming a mile away. That's a dead end road right there. That's not a productive friendship, and that's gonna derail my child's progress. Like, how much of that is judgmental versus also practical?
Okay. How old is your child?
I have an 8-year-old, but the one I was more concerned about is a little older,
Around what's the age?
around 10.
Oh, you can warn them. You know,
Right.
you can't play with that person, right? Don't play with that person.
See, yeah, I don't want to come right out and say, yeah, I want to be a little more clever than that.
Oh, okay. Daughter, you cannot play with that person.
I just don't think that works necessarily.
And the reason you don't think that it will work because you know you've gone down the same path, and because you have not worked on yourself, she is now becoming like you. She's going down the same path as you.
Right.
And so you already know the path that she's leading because you didn't work on yourself, so you didn't raise her right.
Right.
And so you can see the destruction happening.
Oh, that's
But-
true.
But don't get angry about it because if you get angry at her or try to force it, it's just going to drive her deeper down that same path that you went down. Had you been working on yourself when you first had her or before you made her,
Right.
you wouldn't have to be worried about that because she would go down a different path. But the kids go down the same path the parents go down, and the parents get mad, and the parents are getting mad because they know what's going to happen, because that's what happened to them. But they don't realize, you know what, had I been right and raised my kid right, I wouldn't have to think about this. I wouldn't have to worry about it.
I mean,
And then they try to stop the kids, and it just drive them deeper into it. Because just like your parent couldn't stop you, especially with anger, it just made you want to do it more.
yeah, there is a concern of that aspect, but
Uh.
I don't think it was. We had a pretty calm conversation.
Yeah,
It
don't
was,
get
that
angry.
wasn't really the issue. The issue I was more concerned about in this particular question was, am I judging that other kid?
If you get mad at the kid, you're judging.
Okay.
And let's say
I
you-
wasn't mad. I just looked at the way they were behaving, and I thought, I don't know if this is a good friendship for for her.
Well, were they kissing or something?
No, it's nothing that. So it's
Oh.
just the way the other child was acting. Like you could tell that there wasn't a lot of guidance
Oh, okay.
going on in their life.
Right.
And they were
Well,
pro-
don't get angry so you can see the right way to correct it without making her wanting it more. Because if she get this feeling that you don't like this person,
Yeah.
and you're trying to keep her away from that person, she's gonna want to be with that person.
Fair enough, but am I judging that other child, or is there a practical thing?
As
to
long as you're not in your head about it,
Right.
and angry at the person.
Okay.
But if you have an understanding that, yeah, this child had a problem,
Right.
and it came from the parents, if you understand it, you're going to deal with it differently
Right,
than you would with judgment. You'll deal with it with love.
right. I mean, I think she did listen to me. Like, I was pretty careful with my words,
Right on.
but I was just thinking, I felt almost like, okay, am I just judging this younger person?
Well, pay attention to what you're thinking about it.
Right,
If you're thinking horrible things about the person, then you're judging. But if you could just see that this person had problems,
right.
but you're not in your head about this person's problem, you're fine.
Okay.
And you have she's 10, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I feel for you. Especially for your daughter. You don't care if the boys go out there, make all the babies,
Right,
be slut, make her.
right.
But when it's the daughter, it's a different story.
Yes, that's the irony, isn't it?
Yeah, it is an irony.
Yeah, nature has a good sense of humor.
Apparently. What a mess.
Yeah.
So you made both girls?
Oh, here we go.
You didn't make boys first?
No.
Oh, beta.
Okay.
Do you feel ashamed of yourself?
Not even a little.
When you walk around with your daughters and no boy with you, no son with you,
Right.
do you like make them walk behind you or in front of you so that people won't think they're yours? Or you wear a sign that says, I made a son first. He's not here today.
I'd have to care what people think.
What?
To make that sign, I'd have to care what people think.
And you don't?
Not in that respect, no.
But you do in some respect?
I mean, if it's related to business, you probably should. But
Do you care what people think in some respect?
only if it's related to business.
Oh, okay. I want to get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Amazing. Are you done?
I am done.
Nice. I love it, though. Thank you. I'm glad somebody came with something. Let me take here first, and then here, and then here. Yes.
I just wanted to respond to your question about how to handle your daughter if she's having a friend that's maybe a bad influence.
But first, did you make boys first or girls?
Well, I got one and one.
Your daughter just said.
She said boys.
She said girls?
She said girls.
Now, you can't lie.
I can't lie. No. Beta.
Oh, baby. I feel sorry. Don't you feel sorry for the men making girls first? No. Not that girls are bad. I love girls too. But at least make a, if you're going to be beta, cover it up by making a boy first. Anyway. Sorry about that.
No, you're not sorry.
Right. Go ahead.
So I guess the only thing I could say is because going through that situation, it's best to just explain to your children why things could be negative because they're in the heat of it. They're starting to explore. They're starting to make their own friends without any education with zero life experience. So it's best, in my perspective, my experience, it's best to just lay the foundation and let them know what could happen and why you think it's bad. And then, like Jesse says, leave them be. And then eventually they'll go away from it. They'll naturally leave this person or something's going to happen where you're going to be like, I told you so. It 100% of the time happens.
Yeah.
It's almost scary how it happens all the time.
Yeah, amazing. I remember as you were speaking, when I was young and we were playing with bad kids not bad, or kids that were real bad, and if my grandparents saw me with them, or any of us really, they were like, stay away from that bad A child. Don't play with them. Stay away from them. Like, why? Because their parents are bad, they're bad, stay away from it. And if you're not, I'm going to whoop your butt. And that did it. They didn't explain anything else. Knowing that you're going to get a whooping was enough. Isn't that something?
I was raised in that era.
So what?
I was raised in that same era.
So you understand that? Huh?
Oh, yeah.
So why don't you whoop your kids? Stay away, I'm going to whoop you.
I just take things away that they really care about.
Oh,
because
yeah,
a
right.
butt whooping, they get over it.
Which hurt the most, a switch or taking a phone away?
I'll take the phone away because then they're
oh, it
locked.
does?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, they're depressed. They lose everything, all sense of self.
Amazing.
Yep. You want to see a kid?
Would you rather have a whooping or your phone taken away?
Careful how you answer that.
I'd probably get my phone taken away. It's probably like I wouldn't really care about a butt whooping. I'll just take the butt whooping and then get over it after. So I'd rather get my phone taken away. Because I
Rather
still got my
than-
PS5 and I still got my friends at school. So I'm not going to trip over my phone.
Uh-huh. So you'd rather have your phone taken away than have to go outside to the tree, find a switch, bring it home, and they whoop you with it. Right?
Yeah.
See that? Uh-huh. Amazing. Okay, where was I? Oh, okay.
This is a great topic to.
Don't whoop your kids. I'm playing. Don't go to jail because I said whoop your kids.
This was great to start
In
it.
my day, we didn't go to. My parents didn't go to jail for that. Right.
Yeah, I'm scared of a
even the
whooping.
teachers were able to whoop us. Isn't that amazing? I remember I was afraid of needles, and every year we had to take a shot. And I was in the 4th grade, and it was my time to take the shot, and I was like, no, because I was a beta. I was afraid of a needle. And I was crying, and I was fighting back, and Miss Bullard, I will never forget her. I would cry, and all the kids looking at me, cry, and Miss Bullard was whooping me. And I still wouldn't take the shot because I was afraid of it. I'm like, I couldn't even imagine a needle going into my body. And so I went, she said, all right, you have to go to the principal. And then in those days, they have male principals, right? And so the male principal gave me another whooping. So I went back to class, and the kids knew I had a whooping from the principal office. And when he whooped me, I went back and took the shot. And I'm like, well, I made a fool out of myself. I could have just taken this shot and got no whooping and wouldn't be embarrassed in the class. But in those days, the adults didn't play around. If you didn't do, they had a paddle, they would whoop you with the paddle or whatever. But no more. Now the kids are out of control. They were shooting each other in school. They're fighting in school. They even fight the teacher. They'll cut the teacher out and whoop the teacher because no more disciplinary. Isn't that amazing? But anyway, yes.
I feared my father. I wasn't scared of losing anything. My dad would whoop me back in the day. But this was a great topic to start the meeting with. My daughter never called me for advice. She lives in Arizona. And because she always knew I would yell or scream because I was always full of anger. Now that I'm working on myself, it's crazy. She's always calling me, Dad, I need to talk to you about something.
Yeah.
She always wants my opinion on something. And I just was thinking when he was talking, because when I got my daughter every weekend until she was about 10, and then I just went down a different road. And I ain't seen her for like years. I've seen her like maybe 7 times in the last 10 years. But just recently, since I've been doing bond and all this and working on myself and staying with it, it's funny how she calls me all the time. We talked yesterday for a half hour. She's like, hey, Dad, I need to run some stuff by you, my relationship. And I heard you say, I was like, well, you're dating a beta. It's almost like you're a lesbian, And she's like, yeah, I've never, that's a good enough. And I was like, oh, she understood what I said. Yeah. It's when you're not angry,
Yeah.
it's fun. Your kids will come back to you.
They love you. Kids want parents who are not angry, father and mother. And when you're not angry, they'll talk to you about anything because they don't have to be afraid. Anyone that has anger has fear. And so if they have anger, they know you're mad and they're afraid that they'll get a whooping or something will happen. But if you have no anger, love conquers all. But unfortunately, parents don't have love. It's so unfortunate. Right here.
Separate topic, but I realized something this week.
Yes.
I realized
Nice.
how much better and easier life is when you just like shut up.
When you what?
Shut up.
Yeah. Be slow to speak and quick to hear.
Oh yeah. I have a tendency to talk a lot and quickly and use a lot of words, and those words tend to like just get away from me.
Yeah.
Like after a minute or two, those words that came out, it's now become like something else. Like it's gotten a life of its own, and
Yes.
it's been taken every which way. And
Yeah.
I realized like how because those things have gotten away from me, I realized that a lot of it is like empty. Most of it is, how should I say this? It's like I'm making false promises to myself. I'm talking about things that are never going to happen. I'm like setting myself up. I'm lying to myself. I'm like making all these false promises with words that have just gotten away from me entirely.
Yep.
And I realized that like it's all fake. All the stuff that I'm saying, all of these things that these like false futuristic promises, all of these
Yep.
things that I'm telling myself, well, I'm gonna do. I never do what I say I'm gonna do. It's just something that came out of my mouth in the moment. And then I realized
Amazing. Absolutely.
I realized that
Right.
like I talk a lot because I don't know, I think it's fun or it's funny or it's lighthearted, but
you what?
I talk a lot because I don't know, maybe I think it's funny or it's lighthearted.
All for the thrill.
But at the end of it all that came out was like almost like a monster.
Yeah.
No fruit came of it. It created these like false expectations. It did all of this stuff. And I realized like when I'm slow to speak, the real words are there and not
Yeah.
all of the filler words. And it's so much easier to think. It's so much easier to like be and exist without letting those words get away from you.
Right on.
It was really cool to see.
If you pay attention, you notice that people that talk a lot,
Mm-hmm.
well, really talk a little bit too sometimes, they'll be talking about anything. It's all for the thrill.
Yeah.
They feel good thinking that they're saying something.
Yeah.
And so good. Watch that. Stay with it. It's just going to work itself out for you.
Yeah.
Amazing. Are you doing the prayer every morning and night? And,
Yeah.
And you practice there present?
When I practice staying present, I see all of the words that come out. Like I said, it's almost like takes on a life of its own.
Yes.
All the words come out, and they come out so fast that in the middle of these words, I'm present in that what I just said I know didn't make sense,
Yeah.
and yet still it comes out, and by the end of it,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense, but I'm aware of the fact that like,
Practice staying present. It will change.
yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Yes, sir. In the white.
I just want to say that it's amazing watching Trump this time around. It's amazing how his critics are completely silent.
We can't do politics here.
Oh, we can't.
Right.
Oh.
Because fellowship is for everybody that wants it.
Okay.
And so some people are going to say, oh, we're Republican, we're Democrat.
Well, the reason why I
and
said
they
it-
won't have
okay.
sense enough to see it.
Yeah, the reason why I said it is that there was so much. It seemed like the situation was so dire before he, just there was so much anger and all of a sudden now it's quiet. The reason why I bring that up because it seems like that's kind of what the ego likes to do as well. You just go crazy in you before it gets
The
silent.
one thing I can say, and then keep your little Republican stuff home. It's like Daddy came home, and like in a home, if you don't have the father there leading the wife and the children, you have nothing but chaos, right? And then as soon as Daddy come on, everything kind of quiet down, unless you're a real beta daddy. but everything seemed to simmer down.
Mm-hmm.
It started to slow down, not so much emotions and stuff like that.
Right.
It reminded you of that, right?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about. Right on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My bad.
Did I see your hair? No. Oh, okay.
It's I spend a lot of time. Thank you. I spend a lot of time by myself. I do deliveries, like packages door to door.
Right, and then you leave them at the front door when the building is closed. Everybody go home, and you leave them right at the door and go off.
Take a picture.
And then the bombs steal them.
I don't do that anymore.
Ooh.
I've done that before, though.
You have?
I have.
I was just playing.
I used to do
I
that
didn't
when
mean
I
for
was
you to
lazy.
confess your sins. But go ahead.
Being honest. But yeah, I spend a lot of time by
What's that
myself.
like? What do you be thinking at the time when you were bad?
Yeah.
And you go to a company and they're gone, the business is closed.
It's lunchtime or
you
something.
leave the packets on the sidewalk, right, and people are going to walk about. What do you think? I don't care? Or what are you thinking?
Well, before when I was being lazy and I didn't take my job serious,
Right.
I would just leave them there and say, well, now it's their problem. I delivered it to the
Wow.
building. But I don't, that's not
amazing,
something
huh?
I do anymore, yeah. Now
Okay.
I follow the process. I have to report that they weren't there, and then I take it back with me to the warehouse and turn
Right
it in.
on.
But yeah, I used to do that.
Okay.
But I spend a lot of time driving around by myself, and I do notice a lot of what's going on inside of me. I make a lot of well, it's not me, but there's a lot of daydreams going on and stories and things that happen, and those come with emotions, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden I feel like I'm in a movie and I'm actually experiencing it. And I've been noticing that a lot lately since I've been working on myself.
Right on.
But it's kind of like the same thing of knowing you're talking too much or something. You're being guided by this thing going on inside your head, and then I have to stop and realize, oh, it's happening again, and then stay present with that.
Right on.
Yeah, but it happens
Practice
a lot.
if you're staying present, man. It's going to all work out.
Is it weird that sometimes I could break out in like song or just start singing or talking to myself when that's
it's a
happening?
It's a sign of being crazy.
Yeah, I thought so.
That's what crazy people do.
Right,
Right. So, yeah,
but it's normal while you're working on yourself. And
it's a normal crazy,
yeah,
and it will change. Yeah, we'll stay with it. Amazing.
definitely.
Nice. Yes, Doug. Did I see your hand up? Okay.
I was just going to add that Trump is showing how to.
Did I tell put the Republicans out of here? We can't bring politics up in here, man.
I was just going to
Did you just
say.
hear me tell him that?
No.
He black. He used to work for me as of today. Speaking of work, I'm looking for, no politics, okay? I understand you're excited, and you should be excited, but no politics.
I don't think it was politics, but I won't.
What?
I don't think it had anything to do with politics, but I won't say it.
Go ahead. I let the white man say it, so I might as well let the black man say it.
All I was going to say was that he's showing us how to be and how to act, and I mean, he just the way he handles himself in front of people, the way he handles situations. He's really showing us how to be, and I get the impression that that's what he wants us all to be that way too.
Are you becoming that way?
Yes,
Right on. Nice.
it wasn't politics.
Okay. I was thinking about what you said about your daughter, how it is now. That's why I tell guys, don't go to court. Don't fight over your kids. Don't spend your money. And then you go to court fighting over the kids, and then you got to give the woman your money. Something called spousal. You pay child support and you pay for the woman, right? Alimony. So you pay a double, right? And then you're paying the lawyer, and then you still don't get what you want. Because even if you should get 50-50, the woman gonna make it difficult for you to see your kid. They don't care about knowing what no judge said.
All those child abductions are usually bitter mothers.
So what now?
All those child abduction signs you see on the freeway, those aren't child abductions. That's a bitter mama.
You may be right about that.
Oh, yeah.
It's some
He was
father
10
went and got
minutes
their
late
kid.
bringing him back from Knott's Berry Farm or something. That's what that was.
Yeah. And it's best to not want the child so much that you're willing to fight for it. You're not supposed to want anything, anybody or anything so much that you will put out 1 ounce of an energy for it. And then, because if you do, you made that your God. And your God feel like you love your God, but you don't. It just feels like love, and it's not love. And tons of men are doing it. I mean, just all over the world. I counsel with men all the time. And they still don't get their kid. And they spend tons of money. But if you just work on yourself and put what's right first, love what's right with all your heart, soul, and might, along with nothing else or no one else, God will return your children to you. And they may be teenagers at the time, but it's going to be perfect timing. Because now you're going to be more mature, you'll be ready to guide them the rest of the way. But if you get them while you're with all this money and fighting over them, you're not ready for them either. And they go from one emotional parent to another. But God will add them, they'll bring them back. And I'm a witness to that. That happened in my life. I returned to my father, my son will return to me, and now I almost don't want to say this because he may be watching. Sometimes I wish I had not, he would go back to mama. Because he always, asking questions. I'm like, leave me alone. Oh, I'm going to know daddy now. But the point is, if you don't love anything more than God, or love anything, period, more than God, your life is going to be fine. And it's going to always be on time. And you would say, well, they're too old now. No, they're not. They're coming back to you at the right time. You were not ready for them anyway. That's why you made baby with the wrong woman. You were not ready, right? And so do what you want with that, but I wouldn't fight for them. You're dealing with an evil woman that's not going to do right anyway. Anybody disagree with that?
No.
Really? Yes.
Okay, well, my situation is we already have a plan in place, right, with my ex, and she's not following that plan.
Right. She
So,
ain't going to follow it.
so, but the way the system works is that if a woman or the male, for that matter, doesn't comply with the judge enough times, the other parent will eventually get the kid. So,
But by that time you spend so much money, you wish you had not gone through it. And then by the time you get the kids at that point, they don't like you. I counseled with a man the other day, and his kid is like 3 or 4 years old, and fighting with the mother, same thing, same situation, spent a lot of money. And now the 3-year-old daughter, when she come, she tell the daddy, I don't like you, I'd rather be with my mama. 3 years old. What kid say to the father, I don't want to be with you, I don't like you? This is what the mother is saying to the child already. So the kid is already being screwed up.
yeah, but I just hired a lawyer again to try to.
Beta. No, I know.
You were. I was talking to you about it.
Well, I said do what you want. I wouldn't recommend it, but I wouldn't stop you from doing what you want to do.
All right. Well,
But
yeah.
I would not recommend it.
Okay.
But if somebody wants to jump off, I tell you, hey, don't jump off the bridge. And you're like, no. I'm going to jump off the bridge anyway. Oh, okay, jump.
But what I'm doing is enforcing the parenting plan, and you say that's wrong. I should just walk away from it.
Do what you want.
Yeah.
I'll walk away from it. I wouldn't spend another day. I'll buy me a bunch of homes, like the S guy. What's that guy's name? Elon. I like Elon. I'll be buying rocket ships. I'll be building homes. I'll be having my life. Because even if you get done what you're trying to do now, she's still not going to follow that either. She ain't going to do it. The heart is wicked. And the laws are on the side of the woman. She knows all she had to do is, oh, he molested her. It's over. Or he touched her in the wrong way. And they will make up lies. Because the women know that worked for them. Anything to destroy that child. Oh, he visited. The kids were with him last week. But when Susan got back, Susan was stretching herself. She would just make up stuff. And the court would say, okay, you're guilty. I wouldn't take the risk. You're dealing with evil hearts. The heart is wicked, and anyone that has anger should not be trusted. But do what you want.
I mean, I'd like to talk to them.
What?
I'd like to talk to my kids.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
You want it. If you didn't want it, you can wait. But you're emotional about it. And you want it. And it's all ego. It has nothing to do with love. But I understand. I went through that with my son. I even think I was going to live without my son. Everywhere I went, I talked about him to people. When he finally came to visit, everyone knew him. I didn't know I had been such a beta telling everybody about him. But it was all emotional. Because when our father said, okay, fine. And then he came back anyway. But it's just emotional. That's why you're feeling that way. It's not real. Satan just tell you, oh, wouldn't you like to talk to him? Yeah. You're like, yeah. And Satan, okay, get another lawyer. And so now this woman, they tell her to do another thing. She's not going to obey that. She'll find some excuse. And the court will let her get away with it. But do what you want. Y'all hear me saying do what you want, right? What? What are you thinking? Why not?
I had the thought that, yeah, but I can make it happen.
Yeah, that's the lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know I can fight. I can fight.
Yeah. That's the lie. Why not? Don't cut the baby in half. Get the whole baby to the woman.
But I did that. I've done that for a year and a half now.
So leave it there for the rest of your life. And then let God's will be done. Focus on you, working on you to overcome all that stuff. And let God's will. He loves us. He loves you. He'll make it work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Something will happen where it will finally work for you. Maybe God let her fall off the porch or something, the woman.
God's not that good.
So what? What?
Nothing.
You think God not like that?
I said God is not that good. He won't let that happen.
Oh, he's not that good. Amazing. Yeah. I started to say, my God. God let my son's mother die.
Yeah.
And then we became friends. I was like, right on. So maybe she'll fall off the bridge or something. Who knows? I disavow. Thank you, Hate. I'm just playing, YouTube. But I'm just playing.
Yeah, one of the things I've had to surrender over and over is that she's so reckless with them. I get a fear that she might get in a car accident or hurt them somehow.
That's Satan talking to you. Those are not your fears.
Those are not what?
Your fears. That's Satan talking to you. Satan got you living in the future, tell you what might happen so you can take the wrong reaction. That's all that is. And the lawyers are happy to see you coming. Because it's just about the money for the lawyer.
Yep.
They don't care if you get that kid or not. It's about the money. That's how they earn a living.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Satan tell you that.
The lawyer hit me up for the money, And then I couldn't get him on the phone for 2 or 3 weeks.
That's right.
And then he told me his daughter is in the hospital. I'm thinking like, you know,
He
it's
don't
just
care. He has your money.
yeah.
That's all he wants. But you're so emotional about what can happen, what will happen. I want to see my kid. You spend all your money. It also shows a lack of appreciation of money. God make it possible so you can have money so you can make your life work. Amazing, huh? What a beta. Okay. I got the biblical question. Anybody know what the biblical question is for this week? Last week? What? What?
Wasn't it about what's happening to you versus what's happening outside of you or something like that?
So you didn't work on yourself this week?
I just forgot.
That's because you weren't working on yourself. These things that we talk about, we must not forget them. Use them and work on yourself with them.
Was I close?
All right.
Was I
Right
at least
here.
close?
Oh, Vader. Yes.
I believe it was, do we pay attention to what's happening to us or what's happening in us?
Ooh, she put you ashamed. Almost ain't good enough. Going to Mississippi and getting almost there is not being in Mississippi. Amazing, huh? Yes, ma'am. And you say?
I did pay attention to both, but I didn't stay there. I could see what was happening, and sometimes basically I'm observing it, what's happening, and I realize it's not happening to me. And I could see when things were happening within me, but I didn't linger on it. It's kind of like I would observe it and then I would kind of let it go
Okay.
for both.
So you noticed what was happening outside and inside? To you, inside
Well,
of you?
When I would get in my thoughts about what's happening to me, I understood shortly after that it wasn't really happening to me.
Oh, okay.
So I would let it go.
Right on.
And when I would see things that were happening within me, or I felt like something was happening within me, I also I gave it attention, but I also let that go too.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. The young lady, who in the back with the brown, did I see your hand? I did not?
You did.
Oh, okay. About the biblical question, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I pay attention to both, and now I realize that what appears to be happening to me is really a reflection of what's inside. So I catch myself, or if I realize I'm getting rattled by something outside,
Right.
really it's inside, and I'm like, what's that? And whether or not I make sense of it, I no longer think there's anything happening to me. It's just revealing what's inside.
Okay. Oh, amazing. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Today, I pay attention only to what's happening in me, because I realize, I don't want to Bible thump, and I don't really know how it goes, but
No Bible thumper. It's church time.
I'm gonna paraphrase it. I know Hake's gonna correct me, but where God says, focus on these things. Look at the birds. Look at the trees. They just live.
Right.
They're well fed. They have their nests, and life happens for them. And I feel like what's happening in me is controlling me to take action, to move a certain way, to talk a certain way, to dress a certain way.
Oh, okay.
It's 100% inside of me.
Okay, amazing. Anyone else? Okay, so 3 people were on themselves, paid attention according to the biblical question, right? Did you pay attention to that at all? Now that you thought about it, what do you think about it?
Well, what she said about realizing that it's actually inside of you made more sense. So if you react a certain way to things outside of you, that's probably has to do with what's inside you.
Okay.
Like a weakness, for example. If you're weak inside, everything's going to affect you from the outside.
Nice. Okay. One of the reasons I brought this, made this a biblical question, is because, any of you guys want to respond to it? Oh, you do? Okay. Sorry about that. So,
Yeah,
what
I'm
was the
thinking
biblical question?
it's do you pay attention to what's happening to you or what's happening in you?
Okay.
I mean, Jesse, I gotta thank you because I pay attention to what's inside now. Thanks to Bond, thanks to everything going on here. I feel like it's a constant look at within,
Yeah.
and everything's coming from me. And I found from looking within, I found like I've seen fear, I've seen. Let's just call it, to summarize, fear inside, not anything happening outside, but also the implication of strength as well. Like I'm looking inside and I see fear, but seeing that has allowed me to drop certain things, and there's strength in there too. So definitely inside, definitely looking inside.
Right on.
But I say that with a little bit of awareness because it's like I'm totally focused on this, and I see how if I have fear, if I feel anything, I'm looking at the outside. So I say that with some awareness to continuously seek within over
Nice.
everything.
And did you want to respond, Joel?
Yeah. It just, to me, it seems like nothing is happening to anybody or to me. It's more so in me, because if I didn't react to it, then it would never be happening to me anyway. So it seems as if the only time I think something's happening to me is because I'm feeling something within me.
Okay. Amazing. Yes, amazing.
The realization that I had, well, I guess what I wanted to say was it was always really difficult for me to hear this suggestion that you should just let go and things will work out, because it's so counterintuitive. It feels like if you let go, then things will unravel and get even worse, and that's that kind of fear. And the more I look at what's happening within me, I'm amazed that things just do work out. Like even in like silly ways where life gets easier and like really, really silly things, but in big ways too. And I realized kind of this week with this biblical question is when you're depressed and you're like dwelling on that emotion and trying to fix that like sadness or whatever, it's kind of like a different way of looking at what's happening to you, because you feel like, oh, what's wrong with me or the world around me that's forcing me to feel this way, as opposed to just like
Amazing.
just watching it.
Okay. Yes, you want to respond to Trump. Now let me hear you. Are you like
This isn't
Trump?
political. I see myself a lot of the times looking at what's done to me.
Yeah.
But I also at times will see what's going on inside of me too. So that's a change. But there was a time in my life where I don't think I ever saw what was going on inside of me.
Okay.
I was always looking at what's happening to me.
Amazing. Nice. That's the beginning. Absolutely. Yes, Francisco.
Francisco.
Yes.
Yes. The biblical question. Did you want to respond to that?
No.
Oh. Oh, beta. Okay. Yes.
This question really opened my eyes to how I react to everything that's going on inside of me, especially because I know you're not a fan of this, but I've barely been coming here for just over a month, but I do go to therapy, and
You must be crazy.
yeah, I'm
You
crazy.
gotta be crazy
She's
to go to
crazy.
therapy.
Yeah. And this week when we were talking, she's like, well, how are you feeling about this? Like, what is this newfound clarity? And I'm like, there's no newfound clarity. I'm just not, I don't have an emotion to what I was talking about. And that wasn't a good enough answer for her. And then that really made me realize, like, I really do let things like inside of me have a reaction to everything,
Yes.
and that, like, because I was more mindful of it this week, things still had a reaction. I still had reactions to stuff, but because I was able to really identify it this week, it's like she didn't like that. That wasn't good enough. That wasn't a good enough answer to when I told her I didn't have a reaction to. She's like, no, but get in touch with your feelings. This is the part that you always have trouble with, is that you can't connect to how you're feeling. And I'm like, I just, this situation just doesn't make me feel anything, though, because when I boil it down, it's because my ego wants to, get at me, but I just quiet that down.
Right
And
on.
it just wasn't good enough for her.
And
So
did you ask for your money back? And
I reduced my sessions. I'm not ready to fully let her
Right
go just
on.
yet, but I told her that I'm ready
Nice.
to do that. So
Don't waste your time, but you're right. Do it the way you see it, but absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So great question.
Nice. This question is so important because what I want you to know, without a doubt, I'm not making it up, it's the truth. And there's no such thing as something happening to you. There is no you for anything to happen to you. It's happening in you. So never say to yourself again or out loud, what's happening to me? It's what's happening in me. And like what Joel was saying, it's happening in you. It's in your imagination, your emotion, and you're not your imagination. You're not your emotion. You're not your thought. It's not happening to you. So it's happening in you. So watch what's happening in you, not to you. It's just going to free you up. And you're going to stop having this false identity about anything. You're not your emotion. You're not your thought. And when someone hurting your feelings, they're not hurting you. They're hurting your ego. They're not hurt when they're cursing you out, when they're walking out on you. They're not walking out on you. They're walking out on your ego if you feel something about it. You have made them your God. There's no such thing as something happened to you. It's happening inside of you. What's happening in me? What's going on in me? So you can see what's going on there. You see it, you'll overcome it. You really will. All right? Any disagreement with that? There is no you. Amazing, huh? Yes.
I don't disagree. I don't see that
Right.
yet. And I don't really know how to see that.
Wow, I love that. That is so deep. I'm glad you said it. You just lost your beta status for a minute. Did you want to respond to what she said? That's okay.
Great morning, Jesse. One of the things that I've noticed, especially with what you asked right now, a lot of people they think you're crazy when you don't react to them, when you don't react to the things that happen to you.
Yeah.
And they look at you like, well, what are you gonna do? I'm like, nothing. Like, there's no reason for me to react with an emotional response anymore.
Absolutely.
Because before I woke up, I was very reactionary. But and I think that the more that I work on myself, there's times where I catch myself wanting to react to something, but then I'm like, why? I just ask myself why.
That's right.
And it cuts it all off.
Pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, man. The beauty of not knowing that you don't see it, you don't understand it, maybe too, it may not, but I understand it. Stay with it, and the Father will reveal it to you. He will bring it to light. Really. It's so amazing. And your dark state of mind, your darkness of your mind will disappear, and your mind will be made clear, and all these things will be made clear to you. They will come. Just stay with it. And Satan will tell you, oh, it doesn't make sense yet, or it don't make sense. It's too hard. It won't make sense. It will make sense. That's Satan lying to you about that. So just stay with it. It will be made clear. That is I want to use the word insane, but Amazing that happened. It will come to be made clear. Just stay with it. And don't lie to yourself that I do understand it when you really don't understand it. And don't go teaching about it when you really don't understand it. It will be made clear. Amazing, huh?
Amazing.
Just stay present. Practice staying present. All right? Yes, sir.
Going off of what she said, all these educated people in the world, they make it so complicated for you to better yourself. And then you give this simple, it's the simplest way to do it. And like he said, people look at you like you're crazy, man. It's simple. It's work on yourself.
Yeah, it is. Amazing.
Yeah.
Educated people are dumb. Everybody with a degree, dumb. And the more degrees, sorry, degree people. I love degree people. But the more degrees you have, the dumber you are. Why not just get a little BA up at the city college, go to trade, and go to work? Why you need a PhD? All you're doing is paying extra money. It's not making you smarter. It makes you dumber. And the one reason that we're all suffering in life, one reason, and maybe two, but one reason, the first reason, we've been taught wrong. We've been taught how to live. Our parents should have never taught us how to live. They should have never taught us about morals and values and how to treat each other and how to live. They set us up to lose and to suffer because we've been trying to live the way they told us to live. And then we look around, they're not even living it. They don't love their neighbor. They don't even love one another, but they tell you to love one another. Love your neighbor, treat people the way you like to be treated. Have morals and values, and they tell you, they outline what the morals and values are, and you try to live up to them. Don't be a slut maker, and first thing you become a slut maker. You try not to be, and then they say, don't be a slut. And what do you become? A slut. And you're trying to live up to it. It's not like you're just disobeying your parents. You are trying to live up to it, but you can't do it. And you spend your whole, I'm counseling with people 80 and 90 who are trying to live up to those values. And they've never been able to do it. And they really tried. They went to church and they held Mary until the cows come home. You know who Mary is, right? The Catholic lady. They held Mary, they held Jesus, they held everybody over and over again. And that didn't work. They did 20 Hail Marys. They even do this. It still don't work. They walk right out of Mary's church and cuss out their neighbor. And then the intellectual people have told us, well, you get a better education, you'll be smarter. You'll be an expert, you'll be this. And then they're like, oh, you need a PhD for it. You need a whatever type of, when you really, if all you need, if you want a degree at all, a little piece of paper that says, I now know how to be a doctor. And it's a trade. It's not who you are, right? So they've lied to us. And then the preacher lied to us. The preacher tell us, you are all sinners who need to be saved. Come down to the front of the church, confess your sins, and accept Jesus. Or the Catholic religion said, come over to this window and talk to somebody behind that door. You have no idea who you're telling, who you're talking to, right? And that doesn't work. You go around and accept Jesus, that doesn't work. You try to accept Jesus, you read the Bible, you hoop and holler, and you still cry at night. You're still lonely. You still have fear. You still look for love. And then they tell you, well, you can't have perfect peace because you're in a body. You're a human being. That's the biggest lie you've ever been told. What does peace and a human body have to do with one another? A human body is just a house you live in. It's not going to bring you joy. The only time a human body will bring you joy is if you work out at the gym 24 hours a day, you have a fine body. And you walk around the gym, everybody looking at it. And you get a thrill from that. But you still go home and cry at night. And then they tell you, oh, you should be married. You should have children. That's the moral value. That's the right. And you run and get married. Because they said it. The parents said it. The church said it. Somebody said, educated people said it. And what do you catch? Nothing but misery. Now you're married to somebody you don't like. And they don't like you. Because after a while, that fake love will disappear. And then they say, well, have some children. And then you make children, and then you hate the children, and they hate you. They lied to us. You're never going to be able to live up to that. You got to let all that go. Don't live up to anything. Then you'll live. You must be willing to let everything and everybody and everything go. Don't let nothing be that important to you, or no one. If you do that, you have a false God. You make them your God, and you will never know God. You have a false God. And it's miserable when your God desert you, walk away from you. You're now crying, you're fighting, you're talking to the neighbors and everybody trying to get your God back or trying to make your false God look like he or she was the problem. And they were never your problem. The problem is in here. You try to live up to something you're never going to live up to. You're not going to live up to it. It ain't going to work. And you teach the same thing to your children and they walk the same and suffer the same way you suffered. You don't even have sense enough to see, well, my way didn't work. Why would I teach this to the children? You don't love the children, that's why. Because if you love them, you would not teach them that mess. You would not teach them that. Yes.
So what are you supposed to teach children? Because I don't have any yet, and I kind of do want some, but I'm not even sure. So
Right.
What are you supposed to do?
Teach them nothing.
From basics, like, other
The
than...
moment they pop out of the womb,
Mhm.
teach them nothing. You be that example, and the light in you will... They're already of the light when they pop out. Sorry, kids. Pop out means burn. If you're of the light already, the kids are already of the light, they're going to just follow the light that's in you. They're doing everything else wrong that you're doing. They follow your darkness, right? They will follow the light in you, and the Father will teach. As the Father is teaching you, He will teach them. You will be a living example. And when they have questions, and they will, you answer the questions. The kids are going to always have questions. And you'll be able to answer their questions with love and not with anger. And they'll be fine. And you'll start a new generation. But you got to be right in order to do that. What do you think about that?
I think I'm not ready to have kids.
That's for
and
sure.
You know what's so crazy is, I was talking to a lot of people and friends and stuff. They're like, you can just have a kid on your own and just go get IVF and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, everybody makes it so about them why they want a kid, but it's about the kid and they need a mom and a dad. And every time I tell them that, they make me feel like I'm crazy. Like, no, you can do it on your own. It's like, I don't want to do that though.
Don't
It's
listen
not
to
about
the
me.
devil. That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. You got to live your life. Your life, not the world life. Christ came so that we may overcome the world. You got to overcome the world. Really.
Yeah, but they lie to us a lot, and they make it seem like you can do it on your own, and
Yeah.
really empower the single mother culture. I don't want.
It's the
I
worst
don't want
thing
any
that
part
ever
of that.
happened.
Yeah.
One of the worst things. Amazing, huh? You're absolutely right. Amazing. And it's not abnormal to want kids, but you want them in the right way. And at the right time and for the right reason. You don't want kids so you can be happy. You don't want kids so you can feel like you're being loved and that you're giving love. That's not a reason to want kids. Buy yourself a doll if you're that serious. You know what I mean? Amazing. So I got to ask, because of time, I'm writing a book, by the way. I've been asked to write a book, so I make more notes now when I talk with people when I see things. And you won't be judged. How many of you have fear? And I'm not talking about fear, physical fear. I'm talking about inner fear. Okay. And who don't have fear? Okay, 3 people don't have it. How did you overcome fear?
I'm a big fan of yours, Jesse.
This your first time?
First time.
Oh, welcome.
I found you on YouTube, and
Right
ever
on.
since, I think I'm like a year in.
What's your first name?
Kevin.
Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you.
How did you overcome fear?
Let's see. It just seems like life wanted me to get rid of it. It seems like everything was holding me back with fear. So, public speaking, I guess, during those college, that small little degree that I got, community college, I realized that public speaking is one of the biggest fears, and so just kind of life was telling me that there was fear in me, not the kid side, but like maybe just kind of like confused side of young teenager side. So
you never experienced fear or have fear at all now?
Now I've witnessed my 4-year-old get born. I was there.
Boy or girl?
Girl.
First child?
First child is a girl. I didn't have it in me, Jesse. I didn't have it in me. What did I do wrong? I'm just kidding. So facing that, now when I see someone in help, I'm the first one to respond if I can be not like that in the way as in like I'm going out of my way, as in it was think any kind of fear, Jesse. I realize that as I'm getting more of a man, and I need to be the father to these young girls.
Right on. Nice.
No fear.
Nice. How did you, with the hat and the green shirt, how did you overcome fear?
Honestly, Jesse, I can't even tell you when or how. One day I noticed that I wasn't scared of anything. I just realized that I'm not in control of anything. That whatever is going to happen to me is going to happen to me or to those around me, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Right on.
Yeah, so just...
Nice. Okay. Who else? I saw, and you said you had no fear. And how did you overcome fear?
With God.
I'm sorry?
With God, just the things you talk about. I lived with fear my whole life. It's not natural. It letting go of it. Today I have no fear. I can't speak for tomorrow, but today I have no fear. It's not natural. It changes everything. Changes the way you think. It changes the way you act. It's not natural. Since I've been, like what he said, ever since I've been listening to you, and it doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, and you're like, wow. It just changes everything. It's not.
Okay.
It doesn't seem natural to have fear.
All right. Yes, Frankie. Thank you. Thank you.
For me, it was.
So you have no fear?
Yes.
Yes, you have it, or yes, you don't?
I don't have fear.
Okay, how were you able to overcome it?
I hated my father. I was afraid of my father. So I was afraid of cops and fire department and everything. So when I was able to forgive my father and forgive my mother, then, it was taken out of me.
Okay. Amazing. Let me ask the young lady in the black, sitting right next to the man in the green. How do you see yourself?
Now? Well, since I really have been working on myself, I see myself as I've been living by fear.
You've been living by fear?
By fear, yeah.
Okay.
And it is true, fear does create these scenarios and these just like stuff that hasn't even happened just makes you, and that makes you react, and then that makes you, like the lady in the front said, like, that makes you react and it starts just making you say things and do things and and it's not you, you know? And now I know that's not me.
Right on.
So.
Okay. I was thinking of you this week, and I realized you are working, and I see the change, that you are working on yourself, so stay with it.
Yeah.
No matter what, you stay with it.
Definitely. It's the hardest journey that I've been in, but it's so
Well, I
worth
have
it.
news for you. It's gonna get harder.
Okay.
So get ready. The devil's gonna have a hissy fit.
Oh, he's having one.
Yeah.
And I could see it. I could see it when like the thoughts come in, and you know, just this week I had an event that happened, and I called Christy and Randy, and luckily they were like, don't listen to your thoughts, don't do nothing, do the silent player. And I was like, okay. And and nothing worse happened after that. So.
Right on. Well, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. All right?
Yeah.
Don't have me come looking for you. I want to tell you that fear is the worst thing you could possibly have in your life. Fear was not given to you by God. If you don't remember anything else, just know the fear you... Do you still have fear? I'm sorry?
Yes.
And why?
Well, it's so many facets as to like why I have it, because in different circumstances it shows up in different ways. But for the most part, I think it's because I just don't want to like show myself to people.
You don't want to show yourself?
Yes.
And what self is that?
Like this thing that I'm trying to like, I'm in the process of trying to get rid of it, but it's a thing that I suppress a lot of.
Give me an example so to be clear.
Okay. So I actually just had an event happen to me this week. I'm supposed to be collaborating with these other students. I attend a conservatory. So I'm supposed to be collaborating with these people. And I had one classmate just made a big uproar about an idea that I had. And usually this wouldn't bother me. But it really did, because he was just trying to make it seem like I was an idiot in front of everyone, and I know I'm not. If anything, I was probably the most prepared in that group, and I lost it a little bit. Like, I didn't like cuss anybody out or anything, but it was very apparent that I was like bothered.
And did you curse him out in your mind?
Yes.
So you did curse him out.
But you know, they didn't.
I didn't curse anyone out, but in my mind I was cursing him.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
Well,
the sin is in the mind, it's in the thought, it's not in the action itself.
I'm guessing that fear just comes from, I don't want anybody seeing me lose it.
Right.
Even though I am losing it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so why did you not want them to see that you were an idiot?
What do you mean?
You said that he was trying to make you look like an idiot.
Yes.
Right. And you didn't want to look like an idiot.
Yes.
And why didn't you want to look like an idiot?
Well, because everybody was already looking at us as is. And I wasn't like being distracting. I wasn't being animated. He was just like, it was as if he was holding up a sign saying like, look at her.
But why did you want to look like an idiot, though? Why did you care that everyone would see an idiot in the classroom?
Well, it was just all the attention. I was just so overwhelmed.
Right, they're paying attention to an idiot.
I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something.
Why didn't you want to look like an idiot?
Because I'm not.
How do you know?
Because
if you're
I
not
wasn't.
an idiot, why were you nervous?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. I guess.
You must think somewhere along the way you're an idiot.
No, but.
Then why were you nervous and worried about people seeing you as an idiot?
I get what you're saying.
No, that was a question.
I I do. I get it.
That was a question.
I have an answer.
Okay.
I do.
What's the answer, idiot?
Because I just didn't like the attention he was trying to like get on to me.
But why not? Why do you want to look like an idiot?
Why I didn't want to look like an idiot?
Right.
Because I know I'm not.
But how do you know you're not?
Because I came prepared.
But yet you were afraid that they would see you as an idiot. You must think you're an idiot somewhere.
No.
Then why were you afraid?
Why? Again, I was only so afraid because I was trying to suppress my anger because I know what he was trying to do. He
But
was
why
making
would you get mad that
jabs.
someone would try to make you look like an idiot in the public? Why would you get mad about that?
Because no one else knew what was going on, and he was just making all this noise.
But you knew.
Yes.
And you knew that you were looking like an idiot. It's okay to look like an idiot. Why do you care what people think?
Well, that's the issue.
What?
That's the issue.
Right.
Yes.
Because this is so good. When the thought told you that you are an idiot, this guy makes you look like an idiot. Here you are thinking you smart. You put all this work in this project. You're the bright light of the class because you put all this work, and now he's going to make you look like an idiot. You believe the lie that you look like an idiot when there's no one there to look like an idiot. And instead of letting that go, you protected the ego. Now you look like an idiot. There's no you there to look like an idiot. It was just a thought, idiot. It was just a thought. And you went for it. So it made me look like an idiot. Okay, I look like an idiot. And you would have been freed from it. And you would not care what the world think. You wouldn't even think about what the world think about you because there would be no thinking. You had a chance to overcome ego and you got mad. You should have been glad that guy was trying to make you look like an idiot so you could see what was happening in you. And sat there and noticed, wow, look how the devil's talking to me right now. He's trying to make me think the class see me this way or that way, and I don't want to look that way. You was talking to the devil. You miss your moment. Anybody see what I'm saying? I said, let anything happen to the ego happens. You want the ego to die. And so that was your opportunity to let that little portion of the ego die. But you got mad at the guy. If he was doing that, he was evil for trying to hurt you. But all ego himself. And the devil got mad at the devil. What do you think about that?
I know I agree. You're 100% correct. That's why I know I'm still battling with that. Because after it happened, I was like, I shouldn't have even responded at all.
That's right.
But I did.
Real power, if you want real power, you got to stop responding. Real power is no reaction. Zero reaction. If you want real power, you got to stop responding. Stop responding. Stop reaction. But because people who are trying to hurt you are evil themselves, why do you care what evil people think? They're not trying to love you. They're not praying for you. Why do you care about what the devil children think? Period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why do you let yourself just sat there and look like an idiot? And the whole class turned around and started laughing. Oh, you dummy. And then, oh, okay. You would have been free. What a mess.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
You're right. I guess I was just so caught up because he's also somebody I consider like my friend. So I was so taken aback by his behavior.
Another mistake. You thought of them as a friend. Had you never thought of them as a friend, it wouldn't matter what he said or did. Those thoughts that you have about him are your thoughts, not his.
Clearly.
And see how you were set up again with thought? Y'all see this? Yes. You're thinking that this is a friend, You're thinking that this is my wife or my husband. You're thinking that, and so in your thinking, you're expecting things to happen or not happen, and look what happened. But if you never thought about it, it would never happen. It's all thoughts. What?
Well, now I don't know. I just
Now
feel like I'm
you're a
everywhere.
real idiot, and we see that you're an idiot. No, I'm playing. Go ahead.
I just feel like I'm everywhere now because I'm like, before I was like, I don't even think I want to entertain him now. But now I'm like, is that the right thing to do?
Don't come up with any more ideas.
Okay.
Have a wait and see now.
Okay.
You may have to work with this guy. Have a wait and see, but don't judge him. Whatever happened that day happened then. It's over now.
Right.
It's something in your mind. Because now Satan's going to say, oh, I thought it was a friend. I was surprised he would do that to me. I did all this work, and he making me look like an idiot. I'm not going to talk to him anymore. All you're doing is coming up with other evil plans and evil ideas. Why not have a clear mind and wait and see? Why not realize, you know what? Okay, I was unconscious that time.
Yeah.
I didn't catch this idiot thing. I must stay present now, so I practice being present so I can catch the next one that comes. Another one will come. So you can die from it. Right now you should be working on overcoming the ego. And you got to let whatever happened to the ego happens so you can see it, and seeing it will change it, will take it away from you. You must die if you want life. You got to die. You got to go through hell to get to heaven. And this is hell. Just imagine you sitting in class, everybody looking at you, you're all Southern. You're all a little tiny body, pretty, and they think the pretty girl's an idiot.
Yeah, they do.
And then you all smart, you work this project. Just think, Southern girl, tiny body, pretty, and smart, and they think you're an idiot. You probably want to shoot him. Huh? See? She's saying yes. But it's all ego. It's not who you are at all. And you had a chance to let your ego die. It wasn't happening to you. It was happening to the not you, the false identity. But you have identified with the false identity and you think it's happening to you. What?
I slipped up.
No, you were unconscious.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew, okay, I was unconscious. I didn't see. Then next time, pay attention. That's all. God is still with you.
Okay.
And don't be mad at that boy. It's not his fault. Understand him. The same spirit driving you is driving him. Same thing. Same thing. All right?
Okay.
Nice, huh?
Very nice.
Yeah. So it's okay to be an idiot. We're all idiots. That's why we're having the problem we're having. We think it's us. I mean, yes, ma'am. Have you overcome your fear? No, she like nerve with the mic, huh?
Have I overcome my fears?
Yes.
Not completely.
And why not?
Well, it takes practice, I guess.
It takes what?
Practice,
Uh-huh.
because I'll continue to have fears. But like I told you last week, I think, I notice it now. So it's different than before where I identified with it. And I also notice the less I want, the less fears I have, because sometimes fear comes from wanting control.
Yep.
Even when
Absolutely.
you're not thinking, oh, I want to have control of it. But I listened to this video a couple days ago by this, I think he's a preacher named Derek Prince. I don't know if anybody has heard of him. But he was talking about how anything that's for us comes from God. So when we hold on,
that what?
that is for us comes from God. And so anytime we grasp and hold on to things, it's not for us. So I've been thinking about that a lot. And, or I think about that when I start feeling uneasy about.
But the devil would give you what you want too.
No, I know. So.
The devil will give you a big house He will give you a car. He will give you false love. He will give you what you want because you're one with the devil. The only thing he can do is save you from yourself.
Right.
But so be aware of that too.
Yeah. So I think of not holding on or not grasping onto things. So
Right
if
on.
something comes to me, then it's because it's for me, and if it's not for me, then there's no reason for me to be upset when I can't control a situation.
Right on.
That's what I've been thinking about this week.
Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. Now I got to make my little opening short. All right. I counsel with a lot of folks from everywhere. And what I notice is that the devil tells everybody the same thing. And then the situation might be a little different, but everybody responds to the situation in the same way, all over the world. And it doesn't matter your status, how much money you have or don't have, your color. Everybody responds to the situation in the same way. And then I counseled with a couple couples this week. And what I noticed is that because of fear, the men can't even guide their wives. And because of fear, the wives won't obey their husbands. And the men won't be straight up with their wives. I don't mean play man or intellectual stuff that you're learning even from here. But they still have fear of losing their wives. They have fear of the wives getting angry and leaving them. They have fear of something. And because they have that fear, they can't lead their wives in the right way to go. And the wives have a love-hate relationship for them. Because she wants him to be strong in the right way. She needs him or she wants him to lead her. But then if he tries to lead her, she's going to make it difficult for him. And she sees that the more difficult she makes it for him, the more he color up to her. The more he try to please her. And it's just a battle going on. Fear is not from God. Fear, you can overcome fear right now if you walk out the prison. Remember I told you last week the prison doors are open, but because of your fear, you won't walk out? Your fear tell you, oh no, if I walk out, the guard's going to shoot me. It's a setup. Or you listen to the other person in prison, they tell you, well, don't do it that way because this is going to happen if you walk out of your prison. Or you may make it to the boat, but you're not going to be able to cross over to the land, dry land, because they're going to shoot you along the way or some alligator's going to get you. Fear. Fear tell you if you speak up for yourself, you're going to lose all your friends. Or if your husband or wife leave you, you're going to be alone. Or if your children are taken away from you, you're going to be lonely. Your kids are going to suffer. It's all fear. God did not give you a spirit of fear. And the person that's feeling the fear is not even you, because there is no you. There's literally no you at all. And what you should, do what you want, you should start worshiping fear. You should start worshiping thoughts. You are making thoughts your God. And you should only have one God, but you make these false gods out of thoughts. I'm an idiot. They're going to make me look like an idiot. She was wishing false gods. Satan was lying to her. There is no her to embarrass, to feel anything, or to worry about anything, or to want for anything. It's a lie. And God is not judging you. You can overcome fear right now if you're willing to just let fear happen and do what you got to do with yourself. If you go to work, if to face those people, just face them and see that fear has no authority. It will leave you. Fear is an illusion. And so every time you have fear, you're worshiping fear. You have made fear your God. You've made fear your God. And the problem with human beings today, and always, but today, is that they are their own God. You're your own God. That's why God can't help you. You think you can help yourself. You think you know who you are. You think you know what you want. You think you know what you need. You think you know what to pray for. You think you know everything, and so God cannot help you. You are your own God, because you know the knowledge of good and evil, and you're basing your life on good and evil knowledge, and it has nothing to do with God at all. The one thing I want you to know, and without a doubt, it brings tears, you are free. All of your sins have been forgiven. You're not a sinner. Your sins have been forgiven. You're not guilty of it. You could have done the worst thing that you could ever imagine in your life, past life, history, past history. You could have done some of the worst things you could ever imagine that a human being can do, and God doesn't hold that against you at all. You're not guilty of that. I don't care what it was. I don't care what, you can name it or whatever you've done. God is not holding it against you because it wasn't you that committed the act. You think it was you because you think that you're your thoughts and your feelings. And then when you do those things, Satan and Satan's children, the outer world, tell you, oh, you're guilty, you did that. You're this, and you did that because you did this. And then you judge yourself. Who are you judging when there's no one there to judge? You're playing God again. I commit this act, now I'm going to judge myself. I'm playing God. God doesn't care what you have done because he knows it wasn't you. Whatever you did 100 years ago, it happened then, and even then, it wasn't you. It was this. Something made a home in you, and it made you do what you do. It's impossible for you to do wrong because all your sins have been wiped away. It's just that you don't realize you're not your thoughts and your feelings. You have identified with that, and you're playing God. Even when you cry, you're lying because you literally think you're crying. Why are you crying? Oh, I'm crying, I lost my puppy. Who's crying? Me. Who is the me that's crying? And you can't even say. And then you have conversation with yourself. You go out and do what you think is wrong, and then you tell yourself, oh, I just did a wrong. I'm guilty. I feel so bad. Who are you talking to? Who's telling you, who's telling this person that you did wrong? There's no you, folks. It's all an illusion. It's all ego. You hear the ego people say, oh, it's all ego. They don't even know what the ego is. It's not you. You got to stop identifying with the false self. And God, I don't care what any Christian tell you. I don't care what anything. The only thing you need to overcome is the hatred of your heart. Because the anger keeps you away from God. It's the nature of Satan, of evil. And God tried to draw you unto him, and he's not going to draw Satan's children unto him. But he will when you admit you're evil. No such thing as a good person. But what will happen, and I promise you, once your heart changes from love and you start to see, then your nature will change. You will have a good nature. Right now you have an evil nature. That's why you do evil things. You play these games. You play games on people. You pretend you love them. You pretend you're their friends, and you pretend you're a wife, and you pretend you're a husband. And the first thing you do is go out and try to hurt that person because your nature needs to change. You still have a bad Satan nature. Once the heart changes, and if you watch that nature and not call it you, he'll take it away from you and give you his nature. And then you'll be good and have a good nature. Right now you're evil and you have an evil nature. You can't get around it until you see you're wrong. You're evil. Your nature is evil. And that's what you're living by, your nature. God is not holding anything against you, I promise you. He had wiped it up. Christ came and gave his life for this, to make you free. And you want to accept freedom. You love your prison. You want you to walk out of prison. I said, drop your anger. There's never, ever, 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 but never, ever a time to be angry.
Do this.
What's it?
No, I think it was a spider web.
Even the spiders love me. God made the animals so that they can love us. Thank you, Dad. Do y'all understand this? Doesn't make any sense. Who don't quite see it? Stop calling this ego nature you. Stop calling your thought you. And stop trying to hurt other people. They had the same problem. They serve the same devil that you do. Don't try to hurt them. You ain't no better than them. That's why you try to hurt them. Whatever your issues are, keep it to yourself. Don't run around and tell Aunt Johnny, Uncle Martha, the whole neighborhood, everybody in the family. What are you looking for? They're not going to save you from yourself. And then they're going to pretend they agree with you because they want more of your gossip. And they're going to run and tell it. They don't love you. Human beings don't have love. Stop it this year. I ain't playing with you. And you coming back, you're going to love me. Because you're going to be grateful that finally I can see I am not my thoughts. I am not my feelings. There is no me to hurt. If you're hurting, that's the ego hurting, not you. It's the ego, it's not you. Your emotions, the up and down emotions. Your fears are not real. Drop your fears right now and never have them again. And whatever the attacks come upon the ego, not the physical body, but the ego, the psychological mind needs to be renewed. And yes, right here with the mic. And never, ever, 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 I want you to never trust another person that will gossip about another person. Because they will do it to you too. They have no love. They have no understanding. They cannot see. They're not going to tell you, you know what, I'm in this situation because I was evil and I could not see. They're going to tell you it's everybody else's problem but theirs. You are your problem. Nobody else is. You are your problem. You believe in thoughts and you're holding on to fear and you let fear dictate your whole life. It tell you when to come, when to go, when to speak, when not to speak, when to smile, when to nod your head. It makes you nod your head at folks you don't want to. I remember one time I was counseling with someone and I had just started and it was a parent and a child counseling thing and the mother was doing this. You know I love him, right? You know I love him. I'm like, stop shaking your head. You up there lying? And the poor child didn't know what to do. And have you ever noticed you be shaking your head with someone you don't even agree with, but you want them to think you agree with them because you want to appear nice, so you go. They be like, oh yeah, I went down the well and my husband beat me up and I thought, and you're like, yeah. And you don't even agree with them. But you don't want them to know that you don't agree. You want to appear nice, so you bow your head. I see that a lot in the entertainment world. A lot of reporters, when they're interviewing people, they're going this. I catch myself doing that now, and I stop. You got to catch yourself. You got to catch evil, the thought. Yes, ma'am.
So these last few nights, I've been trying to stay present.
Yes.
I'm not going to say I'm like 100% present, but I've been trying to stay present. And literally the last few nights, I've been waking up between like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, but with this fear. It's like this insane fear. And I was taught to get up and do my hooping and hollering and be a good little Christian kid and
Right.
pray and rebuke whatever that fear. I was so scared. I did it. I'm not gonna lie, I did do it, but I was even more scared.
You got up and did the hooping and hollering?
I did.
What the?
I know,
No
but
wonder
that
you were
freaked me out.
scared.
Exactly, it freaked me
I
out
bet
even
the
more.
demons just came from everywhere.
I
But-
was even more scared doing that. And then finally I was like, why am I doing this to myself? It must have lasted like 5 minutes because I couldn't do it that long. It was I was scared about my hooping and hollering and rebuking whatever that was.
The next time that happens, and it will happen again, feel it.
So
lay in the bed or wherever you are and
Right.
take it and feel it and let it happen and know you're shaking, know that you're scared, know you feel ashamed, know you feel this, but don't call it you. God is trying to save you from that. He's trying to change your nature from fear to his nature, which is love.
So I did that.
Oh.
I turned on the silent prayer and I had to sit there and I was so scared and I felt myself shaking.
Yeah.
but I had the best sleep after that. It was like,
Absolutely.
I literally let the fear go, I don't even know what I was thinking. I didn't know.
Right on.
It was just a feeling that had
It was all
overcome.
demons operating in you to try to make you think that it was you so that they can stay alive. They need a reaction from you to stay alive.
Yeah, because I sat on the edge of my bed and I did the silent prayer. And like the first 3 minutes, I could feel myself like shaking in my boots. And then eventually I was like, wait, what? It was almost ridiculous for me to have done everything I did.
Absolutely. But just notice that, and when they come again, you're going to deal with them a little better. You won't overreact.
Okay.
It'll get easier and easier, right?
Yeah.
And then they'll be gone completely. Yeah. But you got to let that happen. You got to let the shaking happen. You got to let one of your kids happen in your mind, but don't call it you, and do nothing about it. And the Father will save you from it. He'll take care of you. You got to let this ego thing happen. You can't, if you want to be free, you can't protect it. You are not your ego. You are not your thoughts. You're not your pains. You're not your fears. You're not your worries. You're not your loneliness. You're not your sadness. You're not, oh, I want to be married, or I want children, I want this. It's normal to want to get married, ladies, but don't put it first. Let it happen naturally, all right? There's nothing wrong with a woman wanting to get married, have children. That's what you're made for. But not to make it your God. But you gotta die from your own God self. You have a God mind. You think you're God. You think you know what you want. You think somebody needs to treat me a certain way. Nobody needs to treat you anyway. You in your own world. You be fine in your own world. I almost cuss. The H. We can say hell because everybody go to hell, right? The hell with the way somebody treat you. What do you care about how somebody treat you? Who are they treating that way? If you know who you really are or who you're not, they can't hurt you. Now they're going to try because they want to bring people to their hell too. The devil roam the earth through other people try to draw you in. But if you control your own life, how can they draw you in? Okay, you don't like me, fine. Okay, you try to mess up my reputation, you can have it. Thank God, I ain't got to worry about having no more reputation. Let them have your reputation. You never have to think about having one again. It's a job trying to have a reputation. Think about how many booths you have to lit. Because you're trying to have a reputation. A reputation is just a stupid idea. It's a worldly made-up thing that makes you worry about and try to protect. I'm protecting my reputation. And then you hold a press conference, and the people still don't believe you. They're still lying about you. Nothing changing. To hell with the world and live in your world. You are responsible for your world. Work on overcoming thought. It's just thoughts. It's just thoughts. It's just thoughts, and the thought bring on the emotion. Stop identifying with the thoughts. And you can be perfect. You already are perfect. You are made in God's image. You just forgot that you believe the devil. But you're already perfect. And don't let nobody tell you, oh, you can't be perfect because you live in the body. That's dumb. You're not your body. What does that have to do with you? All right? So walk out of the gate of fear today. Let the fear come when it comes, but watch it and just do nothing about it. Don't call it you. Don't run from it. Take it. Like the young lady was saying, the fear overtook her. That was the devil and his little demon, because they want her to think that it was her or it is her, right? And they want to make a home in her. It's the ego. It's the nature of the devil. Any questions about that? Yes. Real fast.
I don't think it's a question. I think I misunderstood your question in the beginning of having fear, because I do have some fears, but then I just sit in it and then push through and nothing.
You got to
comes of it.
ride with the fear.
Yeah.
Remember when I said go and forgive mama, and I said if you're afraid, do it anyway? Have you noticed when you go and forgive your mother, the fear of mama disappear?
Yep.
That's what's going to happen here too, when you face the fears of thoughts and all that, it will disappear. You are not your thought. You don't even know who you are at this point. But you will when you go through the valley of the shadow of death, and that's what you were dealing with. And on the other side of that valley is heaven. But you got to go through the valley. You got to let the ego die. It's more than what you even imagine. And last but not least, the devil, the closer you get through this valley, because you're going through different things. You're going through emotion. You're going through worry. You're going through doubt. You're going through loneliness. You're going through wanting to blame other people the way you feel and what you think. You want to blame other people because they don't want to play with you anymore. You're going through all these valleys of the shadow of death, right? Go through them, and then you'll be done with them, and you'll have life. You got to give up a life in order to have a life. You must die from the ego. You're not going to get life because all these things are death. When those thoughts tell you, oh, don't go to that meeting, that's not even you. You have never come up with your own idea at all. You've never had an idea. You've never created one thought, one idea, one plan. Not at all. It's always come from evil. And you call it you. Then you wake up in the morning and the devil says, oh, you go to the gym at 9. And so you get up and you're about to go, and, oh, you don't have to go to the gym today. Or you can go a little later. It sounds like you telling yourself that, right? That's not your voice. That's not your voice at all, but you've identified with it and you think it's your voice. And you're like, yeah, I could go a little later. And you end up not going at all. Don't even listen to that. Shock your body. When you get up and you wake up and the first thing you get these thoughts and say to you, don't go to the gym. Get up and go anyway.
Yep.
Shock your body. Don't give in to the devil. Because once you go to the gym, you will be glad you went. After the workout, you feel so great, right? And you'll be like, wow, I'm glad I got this over. I'm glad I went. Shock the body by not going with the lies. Any question about this? Yes, sir. Come here for me so I can see you. I saw your hand, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah. On the topic of fear, so I started smoking again.
Yes.
And then my apartment manager, they don't allow smoking. So, like, when I'm out smoking, like, I look all paranoid and I'm like, you know, like every car that passes by, I'm looking like a crazy person, you know?
Right.
Like, how do I face that fear? Because I'm not going to go up to the apartment owner and, like, smoke.
Walking down the road and people looking at you smoking?
Yeah, because I'm worried it's like the apartment owner, you
Just
know?
walk down the road smoking.
Right
Are
on,
you like
okay.
jiving when you? Are you like jiving when you're smoking? You know, smoking makes me feel like a man. Just smoke and don't even think about what the people are thinking, because it's just your thoughts. It's not. They may not even be thinking. They may think, "Wow, that's a cool guy smoking." They may be thinking, "I wish I could smoke," but it doesn't even matter. Stop thinking. Listen, thinking about what someone else thinks is just another thought. Coming in here, it's not even coming from out there. It's coming in here, so it's with you. Smoke your cigarette, and the devil tell you about what they think. Don't even pay attention to it. Don't throw your cigarette down because now don't smoke in an apartment building. You can't smoke inside the building, right?
Yeah.
But walk down the road, smoke your cigarette,
Okay.
and don't pay attention to what it. Watch those thoughts, but do nothing about it. Don't throw the cigarette away to try to make the thoughts stop. Or you want people to think kindly of you and all that kind of mess. Yeah. People are not going to think kindly of you.
True.
It doesn't even matter what people think, it's what you think. So stop thinking, oh, I got to tell you this. And then I'm done. Oh, let me take this. Is that clear for you, buddy?
No, that's clear. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
When we think about going to gym or not, the voices are telling us go or don't go. We end up going again because that was the plan. That's harmless. Going to church is harmless because what if it's something that you're standing in front of committing a very bad sin and your thoughts are telling you, don't do it. This is not the right thing to do. But you end up going and doing it. So
if you committed a very bad
sin.
Sin?
Yeah.
And your mind tells you don't do it?
Right. Your mind is telling you don't do it, but you get up and go to do it because the other side of the mind is, or your experience has already brought you to this point. This is the cutoff. Do it or not do it.
But the mind is never going to tell you don't commit a sin. The mind is going to always tell you do the wrong thing.
The reason I'm saying this is because I was talking to someone recently. I they did something, to me it's bad, to them is saving their life. I told them, have you considered like what is right, what is wrong? Just as biblical as you are, as godly as you, trying to be just like I am. He said, I've been praying over this for a year, and it brought me to this point where he did something that is not okay to do.
So did they do it to you or someone else?
To
the
me,
bad thing.
as you know. No, they did something else that they were not supposed to do.
Oh. I don't quite understand. Anybody understand the question? The question is not clear because you can't, it sounds like you can't really say what it is, and you shouldn't if you shouldn't. But
Like,
the question
let's say committing an adultery. You know it's not the right thing while you're married, while you have kids, and you believe in God. And I asked this person, well, have you considered your values? The values meaning like the things that are right or wrong. He said, I've been praying over this, and it brought me where it brought me. But then this wasn't going to be the truth if I didn't find out about it.
Right.
The truth was that I wasn't a good person. But by accident, when you find out about it, then things change.
Oh, this is such a good question. This is like a home run in the meeting question. So let's say you found out this person committed adultery, right? You should just say, oh, okay, nice.
That's it?
Huh?
That's it?
Absolutely.
Jesse,
Because
you know
you
that's
don't
not
have-
possible.
I'm sorry?
That's not possible.
It was possible if you had real love. Because if you had real love, you will also have understanding, because you will understand what's going on with you, and you will understand what's going on with everybody else, and you would never judge them. You'd be like, oh, okay. You would never, it would be impossible. But because you don't have understanding, you're judging them and comparing what they're doing to you, and you think the way you think is right and they're wrong. But if you had no opinion, I just about to say, if I didn't say it, you want a life of no thinking. No thinking. God does not want you to think. You were not created to think. The only thinking you do at times with practical thinking, oh, I'm gonna make chicken and fish for dinner. Oh, I'm gonna build a house with 3 bedrooms. And that ain't living by, that's not psychological thinking, that's practical thinking. Because once you build a house, you don't need to think about the house anymore, right? And so you are wrong for having any opinion about what they're doing.
Which brings me to my question. Let's say coming here or not, I'm debating in my mind, it's raining, I'm not going to make it. I make it anyways.
Right.
What if it's about committing adultery or not committing, where your mind is telling you, listen, this is
Even
not the
with-
right thing to do. This is not, you should not be doing it. But you go ahead and do it.
But if it's the devil telling you that. Only the devil is in your mind operating. God ain't got nothing to do with it. And then all your little values that you're telling them about it are learned value that doesn't work, and nobody can live up to it. You don't even live up to them. I can live up to them. Nobody can live up to those values. And so you're only telling this person what you think the values are when you're not even doing it yourself, because you're judging them. And the judger is worse than the judgee. The one that judging the person that committed the adultery is worse than the adultery, because you're judging, you're playing God. You all have understanding. What do you think about that?
It's hard.
I know, because
It's
you're
so
playing
hard.
God. Stop thinking and it would not be hard. Stop making decisions. Stop thinking you know what right or wrong is. You're judging that person.
So
A judger is a murderer. An angry person is a murderer. And the only reason you're judging them because you want them to do what you want them to do. Not because you love them. Because if you love them, you wouldn't judge them. But the only reason you're judging them because you want them to do what you want them to do and the way you want them to do it. So you're judging them.
But it's wrong doing that. It's wrong killing someone.
What?
It's wrong, but it's wrong to,
Why do you say it's wrong?
like, yeah.
Don't put words in her mouth, Mama. Raise your hand and I'll come. I know, but I want to hear, Mama, I want to hear all her thoughts. I want her to see for herself. Mama, no. I'll come to you if you want to put something into it. Lord, Mama. Mama said, tell her. No. Why is it wrong?
It's wrong. It's
Why?
wrong knowingly hurt someone and say, it hurts, right? I'm happy it hurts.
Is it wrong for you to judge them? See, they don't see that as wrong, Mom. She don't see that. Judges, she don't see that as wrong. Is it wrong to judge them?
Jesse, it's wrong in a perfect world, but...
In a perfect world, what do you mean? We're in the perfect world. Is it wrong to judge them?
Yes.
Look how she like, oh, they're wrong for adultery, but yeah, wrong, maybe. Is it wrong to judge them?
It's wrong to judge them.
Is it wrong to judge them?
It is.
Are you sure?
No.
Then why do you, what? You said no? You got to work on yourself and take your eyes off of them. The problem is not them at all. The problem is you. The problem is with you. It's all with you. It had nothing to do with them, period. It's all with you. It's time for you to put your eyes on you and take them off them.
But because of their actions, so many people are suffering.
And?
So many people.
And because of your action, people are suffering too. You judge. And you, oh, because of this, so many people suffer because you're judging too. You have no love. What do you think about that?
I think you're right.
What?
I think you're right.
I can't hear you like I did with the adultery.
I think you are so right.
Why is it hard to see that you're evil?
Because I don't see my actions hurting someone directly other than me. My judgment is hurting me.
No, your judgment is hurting everybody around you. Because you are judging. You're hurting everybody around you. This is your perfect time to take your eyes off everybody and put them on you only. Understand you. See what's going on with you, and then you will understand everybody, and you'll have love. Because you will have understanding. What do you think about that?
I think that's a hard work to do, but I see what you're saying, and I see the truth in it.
It's you, it's not them. They're dealing with their life because they have problems. Listen to thoughts and feelings. You're doing the same thing. No different. Right? Now, yes, sir. I want you to say what you're about to say when you yelled out to her for help.
I just realized, actually, I'm kind of changing what I think now.
Oh, okay.
Because I said, because she was talking about adultery, it's actually in the Ten Commandments. But I realized, as you were saying that the Ten Commandments were for us, not for you to take them and throw them at other people. God gave them to me, not me to give to other people.
Amen, amen, mama. What the? Right on. Right on. Stay with it, man. Stay with it. You get clear. Take your eyes off of this person. Period. They have nothing to do with you. It's all in you. And then don't go around town talking to anybody else about this person. Nobody. Because it's in you. They got their own stuff. They got the same spirit that's driving you in your head is driving them. It's the same spirit. Do y'all understand that? Was this helpful a little bit today? Just know it's not you. Even you have to quietly say to yourself, it's not you. And the reason I ask you what impression you have of yourself, don't have any impression of yourself at all. Zero about anything. All right? No impression. Stop it. Walk out of the prison of anger and fear. Don't let fear dictate your life anymore. Somebody don't want to play? Okay, you don't want to play. You have a right not to want to play with me, and I don't have a right to be mad about it. You don't want to be married anymore to me? Okay. You have a right not to want to be married. I'm not going to go around town trying to hurt you. I'm not going to go around telling daddy, uncle, mama, son, and everybody about it. You have a right to. What's wrong with me that I'm upset that you don't want to be with me? I got the problem. Why are you upset that somebody don't want to be with you? Think about that. What's wrong with you? You got a problem. People have a right to come and go. You notice God doesn't care that you don't love him, right? He let you suffer right in your hell. He let you love the one you with. Satan. So anyway, I'm out of time. This week, this has been so good. I want you to know, though, I come with a lot of people that have been in some bad, very bad situations. I would never mention it, but they've been bad. But just know it's not you. Satan is telling you, making you judge yourself, but you're not even judging yourself, you're judging a false self. And stop playing God by judging, thinking you're judging. You're playing God by doing that. You're not God. Who are you to judge yourself? Who are you to judge yourself? You stop it. There is no self to judge. I think I just want. We'll do super chat tomorrow, right, Jay? The Hake Report. Oh, me want me to mention the coffee. Bring the coffee real fast on me. And just something. I came from the plantation to have my own coffee. Who would have thought? That's amazing. Punchy got his own coffee. I can hear Grandma now. Boy. And my granddad, like, I told you, if you work hard, you can have what you want. I got my own coffee, and it's delicious. So get some coffee. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/store, right? rebuildingtheman.com/store, and every dime goes right back into the organization. Every dime to get our work done, all right? So, and it's good. If you want to get high off coffee. Off of Punch's coffee. It's good. One last thing. I'm looking for listen now, don't come to me if you don't know what you're doing this one. I ain't got time to play. I'm looking for, is it PR? No, not PR.
Social media.
I'm looking for a social media person, man or woman. It's an immediate job open because we're just so busy. We got to get a social media person. All right? So if you're interested, send your a little resume or something to where? Bond@bondinfo.org. Bond@bondinfo.org, all right, if you're interested. We need a social media person, someone that knows what they're doing. I ain't got time to teach you. And hate doesn't have time to teach you. All right, so if you're interested. What? He white? Oh, yeah, he white. Bye. Thank y'all. Bye. Thank you.